A special presentation from the KTVB Newsroom. Bronco Roundup Game Day starts now.
Happy holidays, everyone. I'm Tust alongside Brady, Frederick, and welcome to the Bronco Roundup postseason special.
We saw a little bit of everything this fall. Dramatic wins, blown leads, an in-season firing, a quarterback lost to the transfer portal, and, oh yeah, a Mountain West championship.
Saving their best for last. Coming up over the next 30 minutes, we're going to recap one of the wildest seasons in program history. We begin way back in August with the Bronco Brotherhood attempting to reestablish the standard.
They're a little frustrated, I think, with all the talks of how many guys we lost and how young. And there's guys in this building like, Coach, we're ready to go.
I'll be honest, this group is very hungry and anxious to prove that. We don't try and pay attention a whole lot to the outside noise, but at the same time, you can't help but feel like, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a chip on the shoulder of some of these guys, which is what you want.
When you watch them, you're going to see 11 guys in that field that look like they love playing for each other and they love playing this game. That's, to me, is what encapsulates Boise State, and especially Boise State defense, is that those guys that it's not about me, it's about us.
We're going to not only match what last year's group did, but we're going to exceed it, and we're going to set our own standard of how this thing's supposed to be done.
Now the Broncos would look to chase the standard in the season opener in Seattle against the top 10 Washington Huskies. Early on, it actually looked promising. The Broncos led this game 6-0 after the first quarter of play. The Huskies would then outscore them 56-13 the rest of the way, though, as Heisman Trophy runner-up Michael Penix Jr. threw for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns. And a blowout win for the Dogs.
So a chance to bounce back at home. Boise State would host UCF. Starting quarterback Taylen Green would leave the game with cramps in the second half. So backup QB Maddox Madsen would take over and lead the go-ahead drive with a touchdown pass to Steph Cobbs. But from there, with under 2 minutes left to go, the Golden Knights would drive down into field goal range and kick the walk-off as time expired. The Broncos would lose their first home opener in 21 years. The following week, BSU would finally get that first win of the season. Boise State dominated North Dakota on the blue, hanging 42 points on the Fighting Hawks behind 3 Ashton Jeanty rushing touchdowns.
6 days later, it was time to start Mountain West play.
Second down and 8 from the 42. Long count. Green quick handoff to Jeanty. Went right, cut back to the left, middle of the field, the 50 to the 40. Jeanty sheds tacklers to the 30, to the 20, high steps into the end zone, and the Broncos take the lead. Jeanty again up the middle, sheds tacklers to the 25, to the 30, to the 40, to the 50, hurdles a man to the 40, and he's going to get inside the 40, down to the 37-yard line. We're going to call it a run of 37 for Jeanty, and he's easily over 100 yards. Beresford and Carry on the right side of the line. Green in the pistol in front of Jeanty. Handoff Jeanty, left side, untouched into the end zone. 6-yard touchdown run. Ashton Jeanty puts Boise State up 2 scores and puts himself over 200 yards rushing in the game.
I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming, Bucco Nation. Thank you for everybody that came and supported us, no matter the circumstances. We started 0-2, but we're going to win this conference. I promise you that. I promise you that.
Let's go, Broncos! Here we go, Boise!
8 days after moving to 1-0 in Mountain West play, Boise State made a cross-country trip to Memphis. The Broncos jumped out to a 17-0 lead. The sophomore running back Ashton Jeanty found the end zone twice in the second quarter alone. Jeanty finished the day with 4 touchdowns, but Memphis went on a 28-0 scoring run to ultimately pull away 35-32 as the Broncos dropped to 2-3 on the season. So after that Memphis game, the Bronco coaching staff couldn't deny it anymore.
Yeah, they officially had a 2-quarterback system, a quarterback controversy, as some people put it. One of the biggest reasons they wanted to give Maddox Madsen more time was his efficiency on third down conversions. The Bronco offense needed to stay out on the field longer, but they still liked what they got from Taylen Green on the ground.
Each guy brings something to the table right now, and they both deserve to play, and it's really as simple as that. I really don't think this is a thing about Taylen and his development. I really don't. I just, the reality is Maddox is has played well enough to deserve an opportunity. That's how we see it. We're excited about the opportunity to play both. What that balance looks like is something exciting and, part of what we got to get done.
Come on. All day, man.
Clydesdales are in. That means a lot of defensive linemen to give them some beef in there. Gums in front of Genty. Gums clears it out, and Genty walks into the end zone untouched. And Boise State, with 9:03 to go in the first quarter, marches it right down and scores. Cobb's back in motion to the left, and it's a handoff to Genty, and Genty's going to go into the end zone. And it is a hat trick. 3 touchdowns for Ashton Genty.
Here's the onside kick, bouncing around. Colorado State has a shot, and they get it. The Rams are alive on homecoming, ladies and gentlemen. Colorado State looking for their first win ever against Boise State. One final shot. Fowler Nicolosi chucking it into the end zone. Everybody is there. Is it caught? Is it caught? Colorado State. Dallin Holker makes the catch. It's a miracle in Fort Collins.
I mean, we always talk about how it's all about us, and it's tough looking some of these guys in the eye knowing that we didn't do as much as we could. And it's tough heading back to Bronco Nation like that, too. I know it's a community that cares a lot about this team, and we care a lot about the community. And behind closed doors, I know we put a lot of work in, and we're intentional, we care about each other, and it's just frustrating. I mean, all I can say is sorry. I feel bad for the guys that didn't play tonight. I feel bad for Bronco Nation. I feel bad for the families that traveled out here, and all we can do is just move on. Next week we'll self-scout. We'll get it figured out. We care about each other a lot, and we'll get it figured out.
So the Broncos would roll into the bye week, coming off one of their most shocking losses in program history. How would they respond? More on the Bronco Roundup postseason special after the break.
Peasley drops back into the shotgun. Broncos blitz up the middle, forcing Peasley to throw it, and it's intercepted. A jumping, diving interception. Ty Benefield, the freshman, comes up with it. Dubar behind Gums in the backfield. Handoff Dubar. Dubar up the middle. Touchdown, Boise State. Breezy Dubar with his first touchdown as a Bronco. The freshman scores. Zone read, Green gonna take it, right side, 10-5, touchdown Taylon Green. 21-7 Boise State with 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. Strong to the left, McAllister to the right, Madsen looking right, now back over the middle, threw it to the back of the end zone, and what a catch!
The players did a really good job throughout the course of the week with the preparation, really understanding the game plan, and that's a big part of the maturity of this team. Our team is starting to understand that each and every week, there's a certain level of diligence that needs to go into this process in order to be our best.
That was good, baby. So after that win, the Broncos would go back out on the road for a game they have circled on the calendar every year, the battle for the milk can.
Boise State heading into one of the most hostile stadiums in the Mountain West to take on their rival, the Fresno State Bulldogs. The Broncos started to move away from the two-quarterback system, with Maddox Madsen carrying the bulk of pass-throwing duties. This game would have been tied at halftime, but with seconds left in the second quarter, Fresno State returned a kickoff for a touchdown. Those 7 points would prove to be the difference maker. The Broncos would fall 37-30. Boise State would fall to 4-5 on the season for the first time since 1997, setting up a must-win game against New Mexico the following week.
So the Broncos would respond with their most lopsided win of the season 7 days later on the Blue. With Maddox Madsen making his first career start at quarterback days after Eric McAllister entered the transfer portal, his replacement Austin Bolt would enter the end zone. Madsen threw for 202 yards on 11 pass attempts as the Broncos rolled past the Lobos 42-14. Now, despite one of the biggest blowout wins of the season, approximately 12 hours after the Broncos left the field that Saturday night, Director of Athletics Jeremiah Dickey did something no AD has ever had to do in school history. On November 12th at 11 a.m., Dickey dismissed head coach Andy Avalos, resulting in the first ever in-season firing for the program. Avalos went 22-14 in 2.5 years at his alma mater, but after monitoring the team closely, Dickey felt it was time for a change.
Yesterday was a tough day. I care very much about Andy, and once a Bronco, always a Bronco is something that's important to us, and you know, it was one of the tougher decisions that I had to make. I've never been a fan of making a decision in season, but my goal always when making tough decisions is for my head, my heart, and my gut to align. And once that took place, I felt it was the right decision at that point in time.
So with Avalos out, Dickey named Spencer Danielson interim head coach. With only 2 guaranteed games left on the schedule, could a change in leadership change the fortunes of the 2023 season? We're back on the Bronco Roundup postseason special after the break.
Guys here love that man, and people here would run through a brick wall for that man. I would do anything for Coach Danielson. I don't want to get too far into it, but I think that he's definitely ready to step into a head coaching role. He's done a great job over the past 2 days of exceeding my expectations.
You know, he's a great coach. I mean, even better man. You know, the conversations we have, the talks we have, the real talks, you know, just the person he is. He's someone I love being around, and I'm super excited for him.
Coach D's awesome. I mean, he's so great, and that locker room is so fired up to finish this for him, and guys are just fired up to be out there and be playing for each other and playing for their coaches and playing for Coach D.
So with the players clearly motivated, interim head coach Spencer Danielson and the Boise State football team would need 2 wins in their final 2 games in order to save their season.
If the Broncos could pick up a win in Logan, they would secure bowl eligibility. With another victory the following week against Air Force, they would position themselves to potentially play in the Mountain West Championship game.
1st and 10, Boise State leading 14-10. Inside the Utah State 35, run left side, Halani shakes 2 tacklers, sees the end zone, and scores again. George Halani with a 33-yard touchdown run, and Boise State is ahead 20-10. Ilstead gets the snap, rush closes in, another sack. This time it's Hassanin, and Hassanin now with 7 straight games with a sack, 6 sacks for Boise State. Genty again, left side. Genty into the end zone, touchdown. That's his 12th rushing touchdown of the season, 5 yards. And Boise State has now scored 37 unanswered points against Utah State.
Last time I had that much fun was probably winning a championship. That was in 2019, but it was really exciting to, you know, just go 1-0 with Coach D and just win this game. It means a lot to not only him, but only like a lot of these seniors out here for sure. Coach D was really emphasizing like having fun, playing fast, and playing together, and playing smart. This is the most close this team ever been, with all the changes happening, with all the coaching changing. This is the most closest we ever been together. Like, okay, we're gonna get it done for that guy. We want to get it done for Coach D.
From the Air Force 12, 2 tight ends on the right side of the line. Halani gets the fake. Green goes to the left. 10-5. Taylor Green into the end zone for the touchdown. Beautiful fake by Green. He ends up with his 7th rushing touchdown of the season, and Boise State leads it 9-0. Ball be snapped from the 32-yard line. They got to get to the 27. Britton under center. He's going to throw. Britton flushed out of the pocket, chased by Simpson. Simpson got it from behind. What a tackle by Andrew Simpson. Green gets the high snap, hands it off to Jeanty up the middle, breaks clear, nobody's gonna catch him. Ashton Jeanty again. Ashton Jeanty, 50-yard run up the middle. They blew the defensive line out at the point of attack. There was nobody home in the middle, and nobody was catching Jeanty.
You come to Boise State to win championships. It's right above you. And that's why these players have come here. That's why these coaches have come here. And there's obviously a lot more that goes into it. We're judged off 12 nights a year that hopefully turns into 13 and 14. So at the end of the day, being able to work our tail off to get an opportunity to come back to that game, that's why they came here. And I'm so excited for our team to work their tail off to be able to play in that game, and we'll be ready.
Yeah, I mean, it means everything. You know, this is why we came to Boise State, to win championships. It hasn't really gone our way the past few, but we stare at that every day and we believe every day. Even after the tough ones, we believed, and we're just happy to see that our goal's still like right there in front of us, and we're gonna do everything in power to capture that.
And with that, the Broncos won a three-way tiebreaker thanks to some old computer rankings to clinch a spot in the Mountain West Conference Championship.
1 month prior, Boise State was given a 0.1% chance of winning the league. On December 2nd, they would look to finish the job in Las Vegas.
Green gets the snap, fakes it to Jeanty. Green gonna run it himself, getting to the corner, diving for the pylon. Is he in or is he out at the one? Touchdown, Talon Green, 8-yard run, Talon Green. And Boise State scores first. Dubar in motion, left to right. Hand off Alani, flip it back to Green. Green going long, out there is Austin Bolt, nobody there. Bolt caught it at the 15 and scores! Touchdown, Green to Bolt. 59 yards at Boise State in business. Mayava back to pass all day. Mayava down the middle of the field, and it's a jumping interception by Andrew Simpson. He'll intercept it at the Bronco 31, and Boise State gets the ball back on their third forced turnover.
How about them Broncos? Jalen Clark, what do you got here, man? How good does this feel to finally have in your possession?
It's definitely been a while. Ain't got one yet. But at the end of the day, one thing they can't take away from us in this brotherhood is that we're champions. And we're going to go back, we're going to go celebrate.
I don't know if this is recording or if this is a picture, but I'm pretty sure Coach D is the first ever intern head coach to win a conference championship.
It ain't about me. It ain't about me.
It may not be about it, but stop the search. It's over. We did it.
And our next leader of our Bronco football team, this institution, and our community, I would like to welcome your head coach, Spencer Danielson.
So with that, in the days that followed, the interim tag was removed from Danielson's title, and he officially became the 12th head coach in program history.
I focus on three things: love Jesus, work hard, treat people right. I have it written in my office. Every day I look at those three things. I'm like, Spencer, you got to do those three. There's 110 18 to 22-year-old young men on this team. At some point, they're going to be in this world, and they need to change it positively. And I know for a fact that growing elite young men will always turn into elite football players, always. It's a byproduct of creating them to be men that are always working to be the best version of themselves. I can promise you this, too. When you watch this team, when you watch this family play, it will not be perfect. But I promise you it'll be a group of young men that play fast, they play smart, and they play together. That is a promise.
Coming up next, Boise State would kick off the Danielson era against UCLA in the LA Bowl. We wrap up one of the wildest seasons of program history next on the Bronco Roundup postseason special. Now, if there weren't enough storylines already this season, 2 days after he was named the offensive MVP of the Mountain West Championship game, starting quarterback Talon Green entered the transfer portal. On December 11th, he committed to Arkansas, leaving the Broncos with true freshman C.J. Tiller under center for the bowl game.
C.J. Tiller will be our starter on Saturday, and he's earned it. He's had a great job the past couple weeks in practice, and he's not going to be perfect, but he doesn't need to be. And that's the biggest thing with him. And our offensive staff's putting, a great game plan together, but we got to keep him in good situations too.
So, leaning on the ground game, George Holani would finish his Boise State career with an iconic 2-touchdown performance, but in the end, UCLA would surge ahead to a 35-22 victory. After the game, Danielson praised the resilience of the Broncos.
When everybody counted them out, like I said, the 4-5 Broncos was going to be an asterisk year. It's going to be a year that everybody looks and frowns upon. This senior class, these brothers that we have, I think Darvin said not happening. So being able to flip the switch, win a championship, I think not only is going to propel us in the future on the field, but that's something that no one can take from him in life. It breaks my heart we lost today. I'm going to learn from it. You learn through two ways, pain or wisdom. Today we learn through pain. We're going to learn from it, grow from it going forward, and it's going to help us be better in all facets. But I'm going to remember this team as a team that was counted out and just kept swinging.
What a wild ride the 2023 season was. Thanks for watching the Bronco Roundup postseason special. Here's a reason to look forward to 2024.
Throughout this process, I've had a lot of different people, family, friends, outsiders, just, feeding things into me. And, I never really got to hear my own voice. I was able to really sit down, really think about things, and not just the money, but just every single detail. The common thing was, that this was the right place. This was the best opportunity for me. I got a big heart, and I love all the people here. I love this program, and I love what it's done for me. And like I said before, they took a chance on me, and they believed in me when nobody else did. A big thing was just the guys on this team, the people in this building. The impact I leave on people, and the legacy that I'll be able to leave here will be something big, something huge, and all the people's lives that I can change. I couldn't pass up on that opportunity.